friends, and welcome to the very first episode of Game Huffing. You're probably wondering, what's this series all about? Well, let me explain. In Game Huffing, I choose a game from my collection behind me right here. I place it on this table, and I let you know how it smells. I'm going to test every bit of the smelliness of this game, and test it to its limits. Will the game be worth buying over the smell alone, or will the smell need a bit of help with gameplay? Will the fragrance be enough to put you into a rage of happiness, or will it just make you disappointed and sad? Let's find out with our first game. Today's game, in which we're going to pick from the mystery game bag, is going to be the first game we ever huff. So, let's figure out what it is, shall we? Okay, here we go. Oh yes. Oh yes. Today's game is a very important and special game to me. It is indeed Atari Anthology on the PlayStation 2. Atari Anthology is a game that was released on the PlayStation 2 in 2004. It was also released on the Xbox 360 and the PC. Basically, it's a compilation of Atari's finest games from the 2600 era and the arcade era. Let's get right to it, shall we? So, we're placing the game down here, and we're going to slowly open it up, and inside we have a beautiful leaflet with an address on it to Atari's headquarters, in which we can win free prizes. Absolutely beautiful. We're just going to lay this off to the side right now for now. In here we have the disc. We're going to take the disc out very carefully. We're just going to have a look at it. Oh, it's a very nice label on it. Absolutely beautiful. I'm going to turn it around, and the scratches will not be very good for the smell of this game. That is a shame, but it's okay. We'll lay this to the side for now, and we'll smell this later. Now, here we go with the case. The most exciting part. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hold the case up, and I'm going to smell the inside of the case. Oh yes, that's quite pleasantly surprising, actually. That's beautiful. This smells amazing. I'm really happy about that. The fragrance coming from this case gives me flashbacks to the Atari 2600 and has a very similar smell. The smell of this case really reminds me of Atari 2600s, one of which I have right here. This right here is an Atari 2600 Junior, and you can tell it is related to this game as if you smell them both simultaneously. You get a very nice inhalation of retro smells. The same can be said about Atari 2600 cartridges. Because, let me just put this down now. Put this away safely, it's an old console. Basically, Atari 2600 cartridges smelled very similar to the Atari 2600 itself. And this, my friends, smells very like an Atari 2600 cartridge. It has that very subtle retro fragrance, but it's not as strong as the Atari 2600s. It's in a small bite, so it hits you right away at first, and it makes your mind think back to all those bits and all those sound effects. So it's a very subtle and short smell and short high, but it's a high that's worth it nonetheless. If you want a high in short bursts, I'll really recommend buying this and smelling the case. Now, let's try out the leaflet that came with it. This is the leaflet. We didn't have a manual, unfortunately. It may have gotten lost, which is a big shame because manuals usually smell absolutely fantastic. But it's fine. We'll get to them later on. We have plenty of games to choose from. Okay, let's smell this leaflet. Oh wow. So we're getting subtle hints of the Atari Anthology game case for the PlayStation 2 from this, because it was a part of it for so long, but it also has its own unique smell. It has that real papery smell. However, this has its unique smell, because as it's an Atari leaflet, they have their own Atari ink on it. And this ink has a very distinctive smell. Let me bring you back to my Atari 2600 here. As you see, ink was used to colour in that little stripe there. And that ink has a very distinctive Atari 2600 ink smell. Let me explain. This ink smell, especially the black, gives you this very, very nice high. It gives you this very beautiful, very enthralling and very nostalgic high. Because the ink that was on these leaflets is the same ink that was used on the Atari 2600 cartridge game cases, which are very rare now, and the boxes were usually thrown out. People didn't care about the smell. If I had some of those boxes, I would be in heaven right now. But it's fine. But yes, I'd really highly recommend picking this up with the leaflet inside. Okay, now let's get to the final part, the disc. The disc here is showing a bit of wear, unfortunately. But it's fine. It will affect the smell in some way, but it'll still be smellable, and that's all that matters. So, here's the case. Let's give it a go, shall we? Oh. Well, of course it has the same smell as the Atari 2600 Anthology for the PlayStation 2. However, it's a bit disappointing. Because you see, seeing as this is an optical media disc, it takes the smell of the actual game case, and it just absorbs it, and it smells similar, but it's a diluted smell of the Atari 2600 Anthology game case, and it just doesn't give you the same nostalgic feelings like rush into your head. Unlike it still is a nice smell, but the high only lasts a few seconds, so it's really not worth it. And that's very unfortunate. Maybe it's due to scratches, but whatever, it's fine. So we're going to place everything back into one now. And we're going to see what it smells like all as one. And I'll give you my final verdict on Atari Anthology on the PlayStation 2. Right then, here's his. Everything inside. Let me just give you a look. So, here's the main event. I'm going to smell this thoroughly now, so bear with me. Oh, yeah. Yes. Yes. A nice smell indeed. Oh yes, that is well worth the money in my opinion. That is an absolutely fantastic smell, full of nothing but nostalgia and good memories. I highly recommend this. Once you smell it all together, everything comes together and it all feels like heaven. Running around inside your nose and up to your mouth and up to your eyes and down to your mouth and up to your head and eventually into your brain. And the memories and nostalgia you get from it is incredible. I'm still feeling the effects right now. It's fading, and it's gone. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Atari Anthology on the PlayStation 2. I highly recommend it for its smell. Thank you very much for watching, my friends. I hope you enjoyed. If you enjoyed, give me a smelly up and a smelly sub. Thank you very much, my friends. Until next time.